Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And so I just wanted to come on here to do a mid-year review, the journals that I'm currently using type of video because it's June. Can you believe that it's already June? We're almost halfway through the year. And yeah, what I've been working in and using has definitely changed since the start of the year. And I know that I have been a little bit MIA on my channel for reasons that I'm pretty sure most of you already know if you watch all of my videos. And yeah, I've just been going with the flow of life and not being as creative, or I am being creative, just not creating to share, not journaling to share as often as I would personally like. But yeah, I'm just kind of going with the flow of it and just working through all the things. And yeah, but I did wanted to come on and sort of share the journals that I'm currently using. There's not that many here. There are a couple here that are brand new. There's some here that I haven't even started working in, but I am going to be working in, and so I just kind of wanted to show you what's happening. There's journals here that there's journals that aren't here that were here at the beginning of the year and things like that. But yeah, I just kind of want to get in and show you, and I'm going to start with this one, which happens to be my planner. So I believe you all remember this one. It is my little four-year lab planner. It's supposed to be an A6. It's a little shorter than A6, but I have it in this Hobonichi cover, this A6 Hobonichi cover, and it's kind of like Hobonichi-ish sort of planner. It's like monthly and then daily, and so I'm going to just show you here. You go into the monthly, and then right after the monthly, you have all of the wonderful daily pages. And yeah, this is primarily my planner, but I plan on a monthly. So monthly is how I plan all of my things, and I don't really need the daily pages for anything. And so at the start of the year, what I've been doing with the daily pages were just jotting down things that have happened and maybe some journaling about it, because my idea was to use this sort of as a catch-all of like all the things that have happened, in my days, to reference back when I work in my 5-year journal, which I have abandoned. So I think the last time I worked in my 5-year journal was in the beginning of March, and so I'm quite behind, but I figured that if I journal in here, on the days, I can always go back and reference this when I go back to work in the 5-year, which I'm still hoping to do, but yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I journaled in that journal all of last year, and I'm pretty sure all of that journaling is very depressing and very sad and all the things. And I don't know, I think that's sort of kind of my resistance with working in it again, but it'd be really cool to have that at the end of the 5 years, so I may take some time to kind of backtrack and at least just get in the stuff that I have in here, because if you can tell, there are certain days where I don't have anything written, and so in my 5-year, those will be blank, right? So yeah, so that's how I've been keeping this, and this has been sort of like an extension journal, really. I basically have been using the time that I would work in at my 5-year to journal in here, and so it just took its place. And it's nothing fancy. The only fancy thing that I've done was stick in these are printables from Sterling Ink, and these are free. So if you sign up to the newsletter, every month you'll get the free printables, and I just print out the A6 one. I have to trim it down a little bit, and I print mine out on vellum, and I just tip it in here with some clear tape, and I do it at the start of the month, because this is how the start of the month looks in the planner. It's very plain, and I just prefer this. This is so pretty, and so, I have all the months like that, and I just think it just gives a little something to this otherwise plain planner journal, because I'm using it like a journal, even though I am just using the monthlies to plan in. This is June's, and then I believe July's was just shared. So I printed that out and got it in here, and I think they match really well with the aesthetic of the actual planner. And so, yeah, that's how I've been keeping this. And so this is technically acting as like a little daily journal, even though if you can see here, like some days I just put like what I did, like literally bullet point of it. Some days I'll write stuff out, but yeah, that's just how I've been keeping this. And I think for next year, I'm not going to keep something like this. I think I'm just going to go back to like my monthly planner and then just keep the journaling completely separate. But that I wanted to share that because that's something that I've been using, and I feel like it's going to be really helpful when I go back to document in my 5-year, as well as my Daphne's Diary like memory planner. And so that planner, I don't remember the last time that I worked in that Daphne's Diary memory planner, but I'm quite behind. And it's funny because I have photographs printed out for it. It's just I started doing my lovely journals again, and I made one for April, May, and so I used that instead of working in the Daphne's Diary. But at least I have those references. I have the references in here and the references in that to go back and do those weekly pages, if I want to do that, which I think I do. So I still have my 5-year and I still have the Daphne's Diary planner, but they're ones that I can just go back and work in at any time because they're sort of capsules, they're more scrapbooks, they're more after the fact. And I do most of my journaling in like smaller journals. And so I wanted to share that one. The other journal that I wanted to share, which I feel like I did share at the start of the year, but I didn't really go like deep into it. And that's only because that this journal is private. It's not one that I would want to share, but I'm just gonna give you a peek at it and basically tell you what it is. I don't really have a name for this. I keep calling planner. I want to say planner. I don't really have a name for this journal. All of my journals usually have a name because they have a purpose. This has a purpose, but I haven't figured out the name of it yet. And basically, it is the journal that I've been journaling the most in. And this is where I've been doing like kind of exploring. I hate using the word spirituality, but I feel like that's what this is, or that's the best word to describe what it is in here. But this is where I've been taking notes on the law of attraction, the 12 laws of the universe, manifestation, abundance mindset, taking all of my Deborah Silverman notes, astrology, any sort of personal development sort of thing. And this is where I've been scripting. So I've been writing out manifestations, like scripting. That's a term for that. And doing challenges that relate to one of those topics. And so I've been doing it all in here. And this is a planner, actually. I believe it's an academic planner I bought it at Home Goods, so it's one of those, generic ones, or it's really an 18-month planner. And it has weekly pages and monthly pages. I'm using the monthlies to sort of jot down. Let me find one that's, okay, January's filled. I've been using the monthlies to write out the full moon and the new moon, anything that involves a great celestial thing like Mercury retrograde, the eclipses, and things like that. I've been using little post-it notes here to jot down any Zoom workshops. I've been doing so many of those like free webinars and workshops and stuff like that. And so to keep them all organized, I have them here. So I have my one little word Zoom calls, any Deborah Silverman call. In the month of January, I did a whole challenge with Gabby Bernstein and like things like that. And so that's how I've been keeping this. And then I would jot down any, I guess, significant things like in my life that either I've been journaling about in here, and any signs and synchronicities and things like that. I've been jotting down on the monthlies. And so I have the monthlies all through the ending of the year, and that's what's at the front. This one was July's monthly, from July 2022. I covered it with some grid paper though to have an index because I am doing a lot of challenges and I am doing a lot of webinars and Zoom calls and stuff like that, and I want to be able to quickly reference back to any of those notes. And so I figured going Bujo style and having an index in the front would be really handy. I don't think I'm going to need more space, but I did think about covering August to have that continuing, but I am this much left in this, and so I don't think I'm going to need that space. And so these are the planner pages, and what I've been doing is basically whiting out the dates and stuff like that, and so that way I can use it just like a straight journal, right? I think moving forward, because I'm definitely going to need another journal for the second half of the year, I'm just gonna get a regular journal. This planner is like a weird size. It's not quite B6. It's like a little bit taller than a B6, but by really slight. And I did research, and Notebook Therapy, their original size Suki notebooks are basically this size of this planner. So I was thinking of just getting one because I like my journals to kind of match for the year. So getting one and using that as the continuation. And I feel like next year I might just use a straight B6 journal because B6 is a universal size and I can get a journal that's a B6 size and be uniformed. But this, I just picked this up at Home Goods and I just wanted to use what I had on hand. So and it evolved, right? Because I was only using this to manuscript, to journal out my manifestations each day. And that was the extent of it. But then I just kind of fell down a rabbit hole and started taking notes and all these things and actually journaling. I basically journal on the new moon and the full moon, setting intentions and all that other stuff, like releasing things. Basically, I kind of write a Dear Universe, and then I go and do my journaling. And a lot of it is honestly just me working through stuff. It's kind of like a morning pages thing, except I do it on the new moon and the full moon. And then I, take a lot of these webinars and these classes and stuff that actually have you journal out things. And so I've been doing a lot of kind of that journaling and then taking notes and anytime there's a synchronicity, like this was a synchronicity, this was a sign. The little girl that I tutor in math, she actually gave me this. She has a calendar that has all these sayings on them. And she's like, oh, I want to give you one. And then she hands me this one for February 1st. This was on February 7th. And it said, keep your heart open, which I thought was a sign because my word for the year is heart. And I've been kind of dealing with this, if you know. And I thought that was perfect. And so I had to write that because I've been keeping track of things that are synchronicities, things that keep coming up all the time. And in my Gabby Bernstein manifestation challenge, I had set my sign to be seeing hearts because I figured, heart is my word for the year. I think, if the universe is going to speak to me in any particular way, it would be through the sign of a heart, right? Either the symbol of a heart or, a couple holding hands or PDA or, like signs of that. I wanted to keep a record of that here. I believe the term that Gabby Bernstein uses is noticing the driftwood. I've written a whole blog post on this on my new website. Not sure if you're all aware, but I did change my website. Ariel Lovely still exists, ariellovely.com. That is where my digital shop is now, but all like the about me, like all that stuff, it kind of redirects to tiffanyjulia.com because I finally have my name. And so I've been blogging there, and I've been blogging a lot of this stuff there. I don't think anybody reads it, but that's because I don't think anybody knows. But yeah, so I've been keeping track of that in here. And so this has been a journal that I kind of go through and I reference a lot. I don't know how much of it I'm willing to share. What I do have here is a lot of notes. So I find notes from different places and I type them up and I make it pretty on Photoshop and then I print them out on sticker paper and I stuck them down on some of the pages that I didn't use. And so Law of Attraction, 12 Universal Laws. This was from a free workbook that I had. Like most of it's about manifestation. I love this. This is from Being Well podcast. This is a podcast that I used to work for. One of the episodes had James Baraz as a guest. He's a Buddhist instructor of meditation and mindfulness. And these were his 10 states of awakening joy, of bringing more joy and happiness into your life. Love that episode. I will try to leave a link down below because it's one of my favorites. And so, yeah, I wrote out his 10 steps in here. It's just, yeah. So things like that. So Deborah Silverman, she's the astrologer that I've been following. Every year she does a forecast for each sign. And so I took notes on my forecast there. And this is where I started so I started in August. I started kind of doing the, what is it called? The 369 kind of scripting. That didn't really work for me. I didn't get it. And then I just started journaling, like straight up journaling in those pages instead until about the beginning of the year, where I added more stuff. I started getting more into following the moon cycles and manifesting with the moon cycles. So this is more notes, my birth chart here, a lot of astrology stuff, my birth chart again. This is from CoStar, the birth chart. So I have like CoStar, and then I have another birth chart in here, which is from astro.com, and this is the one that I prefer. Now that I know how to read it a little bit, I prefer this one, but CoStar is an app that I use. I also use the app called Nebula for like getting your birth chart and your daily horoscope and stuff like that. I do watch Deborah Silverman. She does like a horoscope video like every other day, so she does it for the 2 days. So yeah, like that's mixed in with all of this manifestation stuff, and I believe all of this after that was starting my manifestation challenge, which I think spans all of this. This is all Gabby Bernstein's manifestation, and so the workbook, I printed it out on sticker paper and glue, stuck it down here, and then did my responses. So it's a lot of journaling about that. Deborah Silverman did an astrological immersion in the beginning of the year as well. These were like a series of not YouTube videos, Zoom calls. And so I took a lot of notes on that, on like the things that I learned and how they applied to my birth chart. And that's all of these notes. I think that's all of these notes here. And then like this is when I started taking note of the signs and synchronicities that have been showing up in my life. Then I glued my birth chart here, more signs and synchronicities. And then this is where I started doing the Dear Universe thing. Some days I do it when I'm compelled, when I have these thoughts in my head, and I'll just journal that. This, I started doing a special thing here, and these are just lists of artist dates that I want to do this summer. And so I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I have this jar. So I made this list out, and my idea was to put them on pieces of paper and put them in a jar, like a giant mason jar, and each week I have to pull one out to do. And so one of my big things, which I'm not sure if I'm comfortable admitting here, but is yeah, I'm not comfortable admitting it, but I guess a way in which to get that thing is to get outside more. Like I'm always home. I don't interact with people, and in order to meet people, you have to go out and meet and actually do things and meet people, right? And so that's what this is. Even though I'm doing them by myself, it's just sort of get me out of my comfort zone, I think, and go outside and interact with people. Like I'm not the type of person to kind of, I'm actually very terrible at keeping contact with people. Leave it to me and I won't reach out. I've gotten better at this over the years, but it really helps that I have a core group of friends who we all stay in contact via a group chat that is constantly going. It's constantly beeping. Someone's also always having a conversation on there, which is magnificent for a person like me who tends to, struggle with keeping in contact, close contact, especially these are my friends that I've known for like 20 years. So it's really nice that we have that and that we can all check in. Sometimes I try to be more mindful to be like, hey, like I was obsessing over these new glasses that I got recently, and I'm like, let me just take a picture and share it with my friends. And it's such an easy thing to do, and I've been trying to be more mindful to reach out to my friend group and be like, hey, I want to do all these things. Is anybody interested in doing that? And that, so far, I've been being very mindful when I find really cool things to share it with my friends, because chances are one or two of them, or maybe a bunch of them, would want to do that. Like I did that with the documentary that I wanted to go see at Film Forum. My friend John was like, oh my God, I'll go with you. Recently, I did that. There's this it's like a themed restaurant bar that's themed based on Oscar Wilde's Picture of Dorian Gray, and they do brunch and like afternoon tea. And I want to do dinner too, but I just kind of threw it out there for my friend group. Hey, does anybody want to do brunch, afternoon tea, and or dinner? And people were interested. My friend Jules was very interested in afternoon tea, and so we ended up doing afternoon tea together, just me and them, and it was great. And I just feel like I just need to do that. I need to reach out, like recently, literally, like the beginning of this week. It's a Friday when I'm filming this. It's the first Friday in June. I don't even know what day it is, the 9th. But I kept, a coworker from where I used to work at Little Island, I kept thinking about her one week, and I'm just like, you know what? Sandy is coming up all the time. Like her name is coming up. It's coming up. Maybe you need to go reach out, text her, send her a text. Hey, how are you? Do you want to catch up, like meet up and catch up or whatever it is? I'm not the type of person to do that. Like I've been really bad at that, right? And I'm trying to get better at that because I want to be that person that keeps those connections. And so I reached out and we met up on Monday and it was great. Like I didn't realize how much I missed Sandy, you know? And so I'm trying to be better at that, but also being better at being open to new experiences, but also new people. And so these little I call them artist dates based on Julia Cameron because a lot of it is things that I enjoy doing that kind of inspire me. And I do end up getting like a boost of creativity and stuff like that. But I have a list here of things that I love doing and I love doing by myself. I have things here that I've always wanted to do living in New York City and I've just never done it. And I'm like, girl, it's about time you do those things. And then the last group of stuff that I have here is things that I've been finding, like events and things that people have been putting on. Some of them are free, some of them aren't, but there's things that are just happening in about the city that has me interacting with different people. And a lot of those things, that meeting new people, especially going by yourself as an introvert, gives me a lot of anxiety. And a lot of them on this list are things that just kind of scared the shit out of me. And so it's like a combination of that. And so I have them all on strips of paper. I know I went on a tangent. I am so sorry. But I have them on strips of paper and I have them folded in a jar. And then each week, now that it's getting nice out in the summertime, I've already started, but I'll pick one out of the jar and whatever it is, I have to do it that week. And so that's what this is. This was me brainstorming ideas of things that I want to do to kind of get myself out there because I want to be a person who makes connections with different people. There is one thing, I think I talked about this in my flip through video that was before this one, called Skip the Small Talk. I've done that twice already and I'm hoping to do it again. But I did make a new friend from that. And we did Japan Fest together. And that's the thing. I want to kind of meet new people, make new friends. But then also be a person to kind of reach out to my current friends and do stuff with them too. Because, and I believe it's just an introvert struggle. It really is. It takes a lot to just reach out. And it's funny too because in the end, it really doesn't take that much energy to reach out. It's just, I don't know, it's an anxiety thing all in the head. I don't know. I'm trying to work on that and change that about me. And so that was this. But this was when I first started journaling with the new moon and the full moon. Again, it's just Dear Universe and then all the things. And I've been doing this course, the manuscripting method. And so I answered a bunch of the questions here. More full moon journaling, new moon journaling. This was an eclipse. I did the abundant week. These are all like those free webinars. But yeah, that's pretty much what this is. I want to give it a fancy name, but I don't know. I don't know what to give it. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to evolve over time, definitely, like everything. But that is what this journal is. And this is where I've been journaling for them a lot. A lot. I mean, the fact that the journal is almost filled and it's June, usually takes me a while to fill up journals in general. And this one was a store-bought one that I filled. I mean, granted, it's a planner, but I used it like a journal. Yeah, and this is just the journal cover that I made. I have this fabric. I found this fabric. So I'm obsessed with the Foxy Fix spice leather, and Foxy Fix doesn't exist anymore. And so all the Foxy Fixes that I have I have 3 of them that are spice leathers, and I have 1 that is a Rowena leather, and they're all A6. And I needed something that was like a B6 cover. I mean, I made it for B6, but then I forced this one in, so I think I want to either make another one that it's for a true B6, like a B6 kind of size, because this is a little bigger than that, or see if I can get a perfect fit cover from a buy-sell trade group. But I ended up finding this leather, which to me is the closest in feel of the spice leather. I got it from a seller on Etsy, and then I just made this cover myself. The thing is that the colors that she have are so limited. A lot of them are really dark, like rich colors. This is like the brightest one, I think, and maybe the other blue that they have. And you know me, I have a color scheme. But yeah, so I just made this little cover for this journal that I don't know what I'm calling, because I don't want to call it my manifestation journal. I want to give it like some fancy name, and I don't want to call it like a magical journal or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I went on a long tangent on that, but that's this one. Y'all got like a really deep insight on that journal, and I've been loving using it. And so I'm going to share these 2 journals. They're not actually started yet. I haven't started in them. It's just I recently made this, and so I'm going to use this as my new lovely journal for June. But of course, I have not even started it, and it's already the 9th of June. I do have some pictures that I need to print out, and I need a journal about things that have happened so far, but this is like my little catch-all journal that I keep. I usually do 2 months in one journal, and this is a cover that I made. I did this free kind of weekly I keep calling everything webinar, but you know, like this free thing. It was called Making Zen, and it was just a bunch of videos about slow stitching and textiles and stuff like that. And so I made the cover based on that. These are different pieces of fabric that I hand stitched together using this slow stitch method, and it's so pretty. I did some beading on it too, and then I turned the whole thing into one of my little A6 journals. And this is what I'm going to be using for June, and I'm going to document my summer in here, my June, July in here, and I haven't started yet. So this weekend, I feel like I'm going to have a lot of downtime. This weekend in particular, tomorrow morning, I'm having oral surgery to get my wisdom teeth out, and so I feel like I'm going to be out of it for the most part, which is why I wanted to get this video filmed, because I might not be able to talk for a couple of days, because I'm getting all of them out at once. And so, yeah, so that's this little one. I haven't actually started yet, but my plan is to begin working in it this weekend. And then the second one is a Coptic stitch journal that I made. I made it a couple of years ago for the Get Messy season of introspection, I think. No, it was for Get Messy season, and I don't remember which Get Messy season it was, but it is a Coptic stitch journal, and I did start some of the pages, right? Here, there's certain things. I know there's a flower in here that's pressed in here. It was actually pressed in the journal, and then I just laminated it. But for the most part, it's completely blank. And I really, really want to get back into art journaling. I just have not done any art journaling, anything. And I really want to get back into art journaling. So I figured, hey, I have this journal that I never filled up, and it's beautiful. This is beautiful wallpaper that I used to make this. And yeah, and so I pulled it out for the summer. Maybe I'll get working in this. Junk Journal July is coming up, so maybe that's something that I want to do in here as well, but I really want to get messy, and so I pulled that out for me personally to get messy with. And then the other 2 is one that I don't think I've shared yet. I have shared it. There's a peek of this on my website, my new website, tiffanyjulia.com, on the blog, but this is my unraveling journal. I think we all know my unraveling journal. I am a little bit behind in my unraveling journal, and that is because I've been trying to create a course about how to keep an unraveling journal, and I've been doing it monthly, because normally I journal in this monthly. I go to it monthly, but since I've been recording what I've been doing in this for that class, I'm a little bit behind, so I only have up to March in here. I only have up to March in here. I don't even have April, and we're in the beginning of June. I don't have April and May because I've been working in it monthly, because I've been filming it, and all the things. It's just a process. And yeah, like right now I really don't know how that class is going to be structured, because my initial thing was to make it a year-long course and have themes for every month, and that's what you journal and do all the things. But I feel like that's just might be a little too overwhelming, because it is a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to reorganize the content, and I still haven't done April and May, and then I have to do June, and it's just been but this is my unraveling journal. My one little word is heart, and so I do share these pages on my website as well, on my blog, and on Instagram, but these are just my beginning pages for all the things, and I have lessons in that classroom about how I keep this journal. There's actually journaling in there. And, I have flip throughs of all my previous unraveling journals on my channel, of course, but yeah, so like, I'm just a little behind on this, and it's because I'm trying to record everything as I'm doing it and just finding the time to do it. And so I really need to catch up. I think I am going to definitely try to catch up April, May, and June. Luckily for me, June is always just a check-in. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to structure that course, because at the same time, I don't want it to be like one little word, even though it's completely different than one little word. But you know how Allie, she does it monthly. Kind of don't want it to be like that. And so I feel like I'm just going to kind of get rid of the whole time thing, it being monthly. You can do it monthly, but it doesn't have to be monthly. I don't know. This course has been in the works for like 4 years, and I've been going 4 years. Has it been 4 years? Yeah, it's been 4 years, and I've just been going back and forth with how to kind of structure it. And I don't know. I don't think the monthly way is the way. I mean, it makes sense when I outline it. It's just a lot. It's a lot of work for me to keep up with, so I can just imagine someone who's actually doing it. Like if you're like me, you would have to just do this and just do this class only. Because I'm trying to juggle well, I guess it's harder for me because I'm taking my own course as I'm creating my own course, right? And then I'm doing everybody else's course at the same time, and like all these webinars and all these things, and I'm just trying to figure out how it would work. Maybe I just need a break from it. I don't know. But this is my unraveling journal, and it's coming along. I just, need to do all my prompts that I created for myself for April and May and now June. So this is the last journal in that stack, and it is a binder that I made for Liz Lamoureux's Water Your Soul course. And it's a course that I signed up for. I don't even know when it started. I feel like it started in April. But basically, she has you keep a binder sort of journal for it. And I made this binder. This was the cover from my typo 5-year journal. This was the original cover that I had covered in this beautiful fabric. And then I did the boo-boo, and then I did the washi, if you know, and it got really big. And so I separated it from this cover, but I had this cover with the beautiful fabric on it already, then I didn't want to get rid of it. And so when I was trying to figure out the best size for my binder for this class, it took me forever. I decided to just take, I have these spare rings, I have a whole bunch of these spare these are personal size rings, and I'm like, you know what, let me just put it into this cover and create the binder. And then these pages are about B6 size, so 5x7, and yeah, so this has been my binder for my Water Your Soul class, and it's not really anything special. I've just been going through the course very slowly. I'm so behind on it, and taking things that I need right now to water my soul. And so a lot of it, Liz is like, put inspirations in it. This is a little spread of me and journaling about, I don't know what that journaling was about, to be quite honest. But yeah, what I love about Liz and her idea, or is it her idea, or the way that she creates and keeps journals, is that her journals are living things. That's how she sees it. And so the beauty of having a ring binder is that you can open it up, take pages out, put pages in, rearrange things, because this is a living thing. Your journal is a living thing. So if you have, blank pages, in different places, that's okay. It's okay because, the binder, the journal is growing with you. And that's why she wanted us to use a binder. And so, the first week was about stillness. So the whole class is exploring and spaces. So if you've heard me talk about Liz a bunch of times, she has this idea, it's not an idea is the wrong word, but she has this thing. It's called the and space that we all live and you kind of move through in our days through multiple and spaces. And how I like to describe it is that the and space is where two dualities meet, two things that may be opposite or that don't make sense together, they meet in the middle. And so if you think of a Venn diagram, I don't know if I have one of the printables in here. If you think of a Venn diagram, this is a space, this is a space, like these are two spaces that are sort of dualities of each other, opposites, and in the middle is the and space. And so this first week we did stillness and action, and for Liz, she called the middle, the and space between those two things, attention. I called it mindfulness, but yeah. And so this is basically a course about and spaces, exploring different and spaces. And so it's literally, for my journal, it's a lot of journaling. I have some quotes from the printables that Liz has been sharing and a lot of magazine images and things like that in here. And so that's just this binder is growing as I'm going through the course, and there's just a lot of content and I'm taking it really slow. I actually typed this up on my phone, and I think I also paste this as a caption on one of my Instagram posts. I just had to put it in here because I thought it just represented it so well. Week 2, I am on week 2. I barely started week 2. I think I did the journaling of it and just started. These are all the things that I need to get in here. And I think I have things for week 3. I'm so behind on this class, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to work through it at my own pace. And I'm hoping this will be a class that I finish because I buy classes, I go through them and then I never finish. But the beauty of this is that, she likes, Liz likes to say, take what you need. And so it's funny too because as I'm working in this class, I'm doing also my, studying my birth chart and all the things. And a big sign for me last month. Is it last month? No, in April, because we're in June. Oh my God, we're in June. In April was stillness and how I needed to learn. I needed to learn the practice of stillness and the ability to let go, which I thought was like, for me, it was just like an epiphany, right? And it's funny too because I had already outlined my unraveling course, like my unraveling journal course. And for April, the theme I had for April was forgiveness and letting go. And the fact that all of these things came together to tell me this that month, that I already had that plan to kind of explore that. And so I'm still on, I haven't done my April pages yet, but that's going to be about in my unraveling journal. But it's just funny, synchronicities, I'm telling you, synchronicities. So yeah, I don't know if all of my chatter has been a little woo-woo in this video, but that's just kind of what I've been up to lately. That's kind of what I've been doing, and these are my journals. These are the ones that I've been keeping, hoping to keep, and just, yeah. I just kind of wanted to come on and kind of give you an update of what's happening in my journal realm. If you can tell, the theme of my journaling this year has been very introspective and personal, and yeah, and so I think that's why I haven't been sharing a lot of it. I do share pictures on Instagram when I feel comfortable enough to share, but like video-wise, just the process of journaling and stuff is it's a very solid to like a, solitary activity. I just kind of sit with my thoughts and kind of get them out, and I don't focus on how the pages look or anything like that. I just kind of do it. So I guess that's why it doesn't really lend itself, the practice doesn't really lend itself to videos, right? And I don't know how to balance the two, how to create for the YouTube channel but also kind of keep the things to myself. For me lately, it's just been flip throughs, like journal flip throughs showing you. That feels the most comfortable, I think, right now, which is why I've been trying to kind of flip you through journals and share in that way. But in terms of process videos, I really would love to get back to process videos because I really do enjoy making them. It's just I haven't been journaling in that way. So yeah, I really hope you liked this peek at the journals that I'm currently using right now. I know it's changed. Hopefully if I do start working mixed media in here, I will do some process videos. They might have voiceovers because I feel like that's the easiest way to do it, but that's the plan. But yeah, I just really hope you all enjoyed this look at the small stack of journals that I hopefully will be keeping this month, particularly in June, and hopefully for the rest of the year, and not abandon them like I've done my 5-year journal and my Daphne's Diary planner. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for always coming back and always watching and always supporting, leaving wonderful comments all the time. I see them all on Instagram, on YouTube. The capacity for me right now is to give it a like, give it a heart. Sometimes I comment when I feel like it, but I noticed you, I noticed your comments, and I truly appreciate all the love, literally all the love. So thank you so much, and I will see you hopefully in another video. Be well, friends. Bye.